Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Wibbert and this is gonna be one of my builds, though today I'm not gonna focus too much on building stuff, and as I promised last week I'll focus a bit more on decorating stuff, because as you can see I built a bunch of pretty decent sized amount of city already. It's not a lot, to be honest, it's just a small few neighborhoods and a little bit of industry, but yeah, I didn't decorate any of it, so I'm not gonna spend the whole episode decorating. And actually I'm gonna start off the episode by looking to connect the rail to the main station here, and after that I'll do some decoration. And I think most of the decoration will be either some areas where I plant some trees, and maybe I'll use some rocks to decorate some cliffs, and maybe some grass here and there to just break the monotony of all this greenness. I mean, it's a very nice texture and it looks a lot better than the base game texture for grass, but at some point it's probably a bit unrealistic to have it all over your city. So I'm gonna try to break that monotony as well, probably decorate this somewhat, and this looks a bit too clean, so I'll probably use some rocks around there. But let's start off, because it's probably gonna take a bit of time, and I had an idea for the rails. Let's first off look here. There's one rail line coming out here, and I think let's turn on the grid so I see what I'm doing. Yeah, so it goes like that. So this is the rail line, and the idea I had is to do a bit of sunken rail. I'm not sure how much of sunken rail I want to do, but that means that I'm gonna use some sort of embankments, and let me just look up the embankment kind of stuff that I want to use. It might just be under the harbor menu, and I think it is. Okay, yeah, so these are the ones that I'm looking to use. Let's look at how they should line up, like that, but they're not super steep. They might be 15 meters, I don't know. So let's experiment for a little bit and go into the rail one and scroll to this, and let's raise this one by 15 meters. Just use some streets to flatten out things. Okay, that did want to do that. Okay. Yeah, I do want it to be quite flat, to be honest. Okay, that works. That works. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit annoying to get through here, but I'll just have to figure it out. The idea that I had is to make a neighborhood here that's like 50 meters higher than this, though at some point I also want to slowly transition this into a different height, because over here it's a lot lower than over here, so I need to somehow figure that out, but I'll figure it out. Let's not worry about the future too much. I think it makes sense to do something like that. And now to look, did that change those? I'm not sure if it did. I think a trick is I'm not sure if it's still at 15 meters now, but what I'm trying to do is get this height on the other side as well, so I can see what it would look like in a... Oh, I can actually do that. Okay, Might help a bit more too. Yeah. So I want to see what it looks like when it's like enclosed on both sides with those walls. And I still have the... Wait, did that change? It did. So it turns out you can't use streets anymore for leveling ground. Not sure how I feel about that. I guess I'll try rails then. So I do think it did change the other one. And it's probably a bit higher than 15 meters right now. But let's look at the harbor menu and just ortho right, ortho empty, ortho. So him specifying them as ortho would suggest that he also has diagonal or non-ortho, but I think this set only has orthogonal stuff. And these are meant for like sea embankments. But they might look cool like this. I think that looks okay. Did raise a bit, so there's a little bit of a line underneath there. So I'm gonna correct it right now in order to see what it looks like when it's actually 15 meters. But at some point this level is gonna go down a bit. In places where I want to transition it. Okay, I'm clicking the wrong spots because, yeah. So maybe this all was a bad idea, right? I'm not sure. Maybe this whole idea of why is it not doing the thing? Just doesn't want to do it, huh? And I accidentally clicked one there. So the whole idea of doing... Okay, it does want to do this one. Let's just... because now everything's a bit closer to the level I want it to be. This whole idea of plateaus and stuff, it might just be a bad idea. I'll just admit that right out of the box, because yeah, it might have just been a bad idea for this mountain. Ooh, nice train. But I didn't anticipate this mountain being as steep as it is. So yeah, okay, that might look a bit better. And let's make this into continuous rail for a second and see what it looks like. I think that looks okay. The alternative is to use the other embankments I have, which is the Jenks Paris. I don't know why where that name comes from. I do believe they stick through the ground a lot. Well, they stick through the ground at all, and these just line up exactly for the 15 meters. So these might be better for this kind of a project. So I'll just show off or show how those look in an area like this. And another plus for this set is that they have these under the bridge pieces, which if you place, for instance, one over here, then it means you can like put a viaduct of some sort over there and it just sticks through, so you're less derped by having some roads crossing the sunken rail system. So I'm probably gonna use those because it's just easier and more complete of a set. They also have diagonals, they have wide and narrow curves. So I'm just gonna use that. Yeah, now it's... Okay, so the rails also get dirt. At this point I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe there's... I don't know. I don't know why that is happening. But I do know I don't really like it happening like that. Okay, okay. I guess the trick would be to just make a big area that doesn't get overridden, maybe. So I'm just gonna flatten this for now. And okay. I don't know why it's okay. And then I'll just raise this area by 15 meters to have a bit of a foothold. And I guess I'll just use these anyways. I'm not sure what to do with this. Maybe I should have kept it the way it was, with the little random tree over there. But I can always put down a new tree. Trees are free. I actually think the trees are free as well. Well, not in real life they aren't. Trees can be pretty expensive actually. So now it's not changing this. I guess it's because it's a mix of some roads, some continuous streets and the street bits. Maybe if I do this, it allows me to do that. Yeah, so I'll have a bit of an area of this level around here. And maybe have the rails be like sunken and then line up with this. The problem with the embankments is that they do not like slopes. So the embankments themselves wouldn't want to slope while the rail does slope. But that's... you can work with that. I can work with that. It should be fine. And let's make this and then try this. It doesn't want to do that, so I'll delete this one. Maybe it wants to do it then. Okay. So I'll need at least 5 tiles wide over there. So I'm looking to go all the way out there. So what I'm just gonna do is make a continuous road there. Like that. Maybe do one like... okay, it doesn't want to do that. Oh, yeah. Let's just do some of this. Huh. Okay. Oh. I have a new mouse, so I might be scrolling. I still should just change the keybinds, to be honest, but I keep forgetting it when I'm not recording and when I am recording. Okay. Maybe if it's shorter. Yep. Okay. Okay, this is a pretty tedious process. So what I think I'll do is cut some of this out and I'll be back with you when I'm done with this. Alright, welcome back everybody. As you can see, it's all flat now. I actually used the terrain tool because it's way faster, but also a bit more expensive, I suppose, but it's not too bad. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do over here yet. Gonna find a way to end that. Let's just assume here that I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna look for a smooth kind of transition into this orthogonal direction, and then probably around here I'll start to go down with the rails, looking to align with this height at some point, but I might have to do a zigzag for that actually, or I might just have to start the height transition very early. So let's look at the curves. We have a wide radius curve like this. I think if I put it over there, I wonder what needs to be reduced in height for this to look decent. And it looks like it's something like, okay, can't really look it from that angle because of this this steep cliff over there, but I'm assuming, yeah, let's look for where I want to transition back and where I want this rail to actually go. I think maybe this line or this line. So I tend to click the wrong button. By the way, this is the version with some green herbs or whatever on the side. I didn't think about it. It just was the first corner thingy. This is another one, this is a straight one. Let me look at it from this direction so you can see there's some grass stuff. I don't know, I think it's alright. And then we need an inner corner that's kind of big. For some reason I do tend to have a bit of trouble figuring out what I'm looking at with these, in the menu at least. Let's try it over here maybe, and see if I can make a rail go in here that doesn't look too weird in terms of it clipping the sides. Okay, I just take the rail tool. I do know I want the diagonal somewhere here. Let's see how this diagonal lines up. It lines up pretty much perfectly. Can I make this a smoother rail or something? Is that a thing? Would be nice to have a bit more smooth of a curve here. So let's see if one of those would fit. Flex curve pieces. These are very big, so I'm not gonna use that. I do know there's like this curve. It might not be able to fit there due to occupied space. Not sure exactly. Maybe it's possible to just make a smoother curve somehow. Yeah, I think because, well, it's only this block that's being used by the embankment, so it should be possible to fit maybe this thing. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I clicked this one, which is the fractionally angled puzzle pieces. Maybe the diagonal bits are in the way. So I want this piece to be lined up like this. So let me just see if deleting these helps at all. At least it might help in figuring out what I'm looking at. And maybe even flattening some of this out. I can always unflatten it later on. And yeah, something like that, but then over here I think is what I wanted to see. And now the question is, how much of this can I... Okay, that's a lot. So this seems to be working. It's a bit smoother of a curve, it's not a huge difference, but it's the small things that count in my opinion. And I probably should set up this curve before doing any embankments around there. Let me just see. Yeah, so this is one without all the plant stuff. Okay, so it was next to the rails. Okay. And then let's just get a straight one without all the plant stuff. Over here. It needs to be pointing uphill. So in this direction it tends to point to whatever like network is near it. So you tend to need to rotate it a bunch. Okay. Maybe I can make this one a bit closer, the inner corner kind of thing, so it might even be tighter. So there's also the ones with this lower pavement thing, which is very nice near the water, but it would look weird near a... Okay. It seems like it's an inner corner. Maybe this is one? Okay. It's one. Okay, let's look at the name. QS1. Okay, I guess they're old. Okay. Smooth inner curve mirrored. So I need an unmirrored one. Smooth inner curve. Okay. Wait, is that? Oh my. Yeah, that might look pretty cool. Then I'd need some diagonals, which are placed like that, if that wants to get placed. Yeah, so these bits aren't leveled now, so I'll just attempt to level them, which failed. Why was that? Because it was touching this. Okay, so maybe it's not possible to, because I can't level these out because there's rail bits here, which means this whole tile is part of the rail. You can't divide a tile into two halves when it's a network. So I might be limited in how I can fit these diagonals in, because I don't know. Yeah, these don't really get the right height, and these do. So I'd have to shift it over and just have a bit of a blank space, and I think that's fine. Smooth inner curve mirrored, it said. It didn't say mirrored, it said I thought it was. Okay, it must be this one, yeah. So this is how I had it, I believe. Yeah, looks like this is the one that I need to use here. So it's still a bit limited, unless there's like other diagonal pieces that are a bit more flexible. This is a normal diagonal piece. I don't think there's other diagonal pieces that are more flexible, to be honest. There's the little stairs for maintenance, let's say. Yeah, so since that one got derped, I might want to test out the other one before I assume that it's fine. And yeah, it has the same problem. But I guess it makes sense to have some extra space near the tracks. It almost looked like it was gonna look pretty epic like that, but it has to be like that. It just has to be like that. I'll flatten that one out to keep the rocks from, or the cliff from sticking through. And I scrolled in the wrong spot. So yeah. Alright, I think I'm gonna do another cut building this. And I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back. I decided to come back because I think this next little bit that I'm about to build might be a bit interesting. So it turns out the height that this has is just a little bit too high. I drag it, yeah, I removed the embankments for now. I'm gonna rebuild those and probably cut that footage out as well. I thought it might be nice to have some cliffs or something around here, though this is probably gonna be all on this level in order to ensure. And then the embankments might just stop over here and maybe start again over here for another flat area. Not sure about that yet, but what I do know what I want to do is, in order to get this to the right height, I am gonna first flatten this out, and I'm trying not to touch the station. And because this is now all lower than this, whenever I drag it, it's gonna make it want to go down by as much as it can. And okay, so about here it would touch normal ground level, so I'm gonna go about over here, and then attempt to draw a turn, and I'm gonna make these turns quite tight. So I'm gonna make it like that, and then just delete this bit, and okay, might need to level some more ground over here, so I'll just do some of this, and I guess I'll need this level over here because I do want it to go all the way down, and I'm hoping to use a viaduct over there. So that would make the rail end up underneath the rail over here. And the viaducts come in only the 15-meter variety, if I'm not mistaken. Let's re-flatten this bit out. Yes, and let's... Okay, that's weird. Okay, just gonna hit the escape key. You might have noticed that my keyboard isn't as loud as it used to be. That is because I have a new keyboard. I'm not sure if my mouse is also quieter, but I also have a new mouse. To be honest, it was just because the old ones were a bit too old, and they were just starting to show problems, and I'm not sure if this is just caused by the brand of keyboard that I used. I'm not gonna like badmouth the keyboard brand, but it was having issues pretty much from day one, so I wasn't too happy about this brand, so I decided to go with a different brand. Okay, viaduct rail. This might not even work. What am I looking at here? Level flexible on slope. Okay. Not sure, but let's just place one down and see what it looks like. Put it down with a bit of a height difference. Like, yeah, okay. Don't know why this texture is so weird. Maybe I haven't installed the right textures. Is this like the only one? And what happens if I drag this? Okay, maybe this is the wrong one. Viaduct 7.5, yeah. Rail puzzle pieces. Viaduct and overpass. Oh, I must be missing some textures. Didn't know. Okay. Or they might have just changed things, causing my stuff to get weirded out. Tunnel portal. This used to be super easy, and I haven't installed the network adder mod version 40 yet, so maybe it's the 39 that's just derping things out. Oh wait, flexible. Okay, let's just zoom out for a bit. Level 1, oh level 2 on slope, okay. I'm just gonna assume that this bug is something I can fix. I'm not even sure if I can fit it with the bend over there. I do know the bend has to be over there, so I might have to scooch over the viaduct bit, but let's just see. That's not the level 2. So the level 2 one is okay, doesn't it want to? Okay, level 2 one is 15 meters, and the level 1 one, so that does autocomplete there. It might have something to do with this retexturing mod that I have. I think if I shorten this, I might be able to fit the bend in there. Yeah, I need to drag that like that. Okay, so this kind of works. It looks a bit derpy here, I guess because let me just see if I can underp that a little bit by making this a bit flat. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Though, does it still want to connect now to the... Oh, it doesn't want to change into a flat bit. It should have enough space for that though. And now I have to eyeball it. I think if I start over here, it's too high, right? It's just a little bit too high. I could just leave it like that. I think that's actually kind of good. It's decent looking. Okay, so over here I want this to curve around somewhat like this. Oh yeah, you need to extend the diagonal sometimes, and it needs to do a bit of a wiggle. Wonder if you can do that by just dragging some of this, maybe? No. Doesn't want to. Hey. Okay. As you can also see, there's a bunch of garbage here. Yeah, so this was the idea. And I think it looks kind of cool. I don't know what's going on with this texture thing. I'll have to look into that at some point. Yeah. So now over here, need to somehow flatten this ground. Don't really want to use... Ooh, that's bad. Let's see if I can fix this, because... Oh yeah, okay, that fixes it somewhat. Let's just flatten from over here. Try not to destroy the viaduct. Do want that spiky thing away. Let's just do a bit of this. to have a bit of an area where I can somehow make this curve happen. I guess I might as well do something like that. I can do one more straight. That's a mistake. It's still too high. So even with it already lowering that, all that. So I might have to... It's just... Oh. Okay. So it has a bit of a big hitbox for the Boulders too. I wonder if there's like, how low can it go? It's so close too. Yeah, I'm just gonna raise I'm just gonna raise the station then. Because it's on an arbitrary height, to be honest. So what I want to do is to have this transition into a flatness, if that's a thing. I guess that's how you do that. And then just flatten the ground around here to the point where the station will assume the height that I'm defining right now. That's also where the station's gonna be, so let's just do that. I might be overdoing it already. Yeah, so there's a lot of garbage around, and that's because I haven't even built a single thing for garbage collection yet. So I might have to think about that, and it's probably gonna be near the industrial zone, and I do have like a rail-based garbage system. I'm in the right menu, right? Yeah. Yeah, here it is. I can't remember exactly where it was. I think it was around here. Maybe I could just put it there. Does it matter? Doesn't really matter. Though maybe this is alright. Okay. And then let's connect it. Both in terms of rails, it's connected now, and in terms of road connection and power. What do I want to do with this area though? I do know I want some of this flatness across. These power poles don't really matter. And you can hold shift to increase the effect of the flattening. I guess I'll do a bit of this over here. There's some random cliffs there, I don't mind those. And let's just make sure that I take the right height over here. And I'll just do a large neighborhood that's on this level around here-ish. Maybe connecting up to this at some point, but I'm already pretty far in terms of what I wanted to do with the rail stuff. So at some point I'm just gonna stop doing the rail stuff. Guess maybe that's a bit too steep, I don't know. I'm just gonna try to smoothen this out a bit. Yeah, and some of this randomness is fine by me, though maybe that's a bit too much. I'll just do this a bit flatter, and then add some randomness over here. Maybe. It's not really random if you decided it's random, or it's gonna be random, but whatever. So need a road connection, and as I said, so there's a parking line over here, so there needs to be road over there. Wonder how this... okay, yeah. It's touching this tile. So it can't really go out in that direction. What I might do is use a spam piece to simulate a connection over there. Maybe just this one. Or it's not a spam piece, it's a SAM piece. But whatever. Like that. And I think I want the road to be out a little bit. And just leave some space for maybe some bus terminal stuff. And maybe just some decorations or whatever. And some small shops maybe. Yeah, so this is the last thing I'm gonna do about the whole rail thing. Maybe try to do a bit of a nice angle there. Does that look nice? Yeah. Okay. Remove that. Where do I want to connect this? I guess maybe some ramp stuff over there. Because that's like the least derpy thing I could do. Maybe just over here. I'm very frightened if I look at this that it's just gonna derp things out. So I'll do something like that. And maybe, yeah, still a bit of a steep difference. Maybe this will work. It's quite close, so I could make it like that. Maybe. I think what I'll do is just have it continue its slope and then maybe a bit of slope in this direction. So it's gonna continue that slope. That's pretty much flat already. So let's flatten those out. And let's just flatten this out. And let's just leave it as that and make it road. Let's do the straight bit first. So this is now okay. I thought it was gonna make a crossing, but I guess diagonals work a bit differently still. In the new network add-on mod, they added a lot of extra support for road stuff. And that's what I gathered from the patch note thing. I think I want it like there. Yeah, that's flat. Let's make it flat. And just make it one straight road or one continuous road for now. Well, continuous. It pretty much ends abruptly over there. I think what you do want to do is have some pad malls over there and a bus stop maybe. Though I haven't really done any bus things yet. I'm just gonna look for some interesting things. So this seems pretty interesting to me. This seems to be missing something. Maybe rotate it. Does a fountain make sense? I don't think it does. Let's just see what we can get that doesn't make me think it's weird. Maybe a bar. Maybe there's a bit of a festival going on or something. Maybe this bar belongs to this kiosk kind of thing. I'll just do it like that for now. I'm not sure if this road connection will work sufficiently. Might want to just add some of the parking assets that I have. That might help traffic flow a bit. Park and ride. So the bottom two are the only functional ones, I believe. What does that look like? So you could do maybe something like that. I don't know. And the other one on the other side. Couple of hedges there. Just for a bit of parking. I don't know. Maybe it looks weird. But I guess if you... Oh, I accidentally bulldozed it. Yep. So be careful with your bulldoze tools, kids. Don't run with bulldoze tools. Okay, didn't derp things out, which is nice. I think having some high density here, hoping that it develops into something epic, might be cool. I'm not sure if you can just connect these with pedals, but I'm gonna try it out just for science. And not sure what kind of pedals I want to use here. I'll use some red pedals, maybe a bit of a pattern. I actually want to flatten it out later, so it's not very smart to put pedals there now. Pedals red. Let's just do this for now, so it's most likely connected. Let's not do grass. Let's do some of these in the centers. Okay, those just are the normal pavement texture. Cool. Do a bit of small pedals here, offices. At least I'm hoping they're developing into offices. Some power might be nice. I think this is 12. And then let's just make sure that the future also has some water, because I'm planning to do a bit more development around here. Though I might use those walls I showed earlier to like make a bit of level ground here, and then a bit of an embankment with some beach area underneath, and then maybe some small shops in between the office kind of stuff and the beach stuff. Gonna have to look into that in the future. For now, this has been a pretty interesting project. I think this looks nice, although the textures being weirded out is... I'm not sure what's causing that. I think maybe I derped something out in the folder. So let's start the decoration part of the video, I guess. So the first step of decoration will be to do some embankment stuff around here, which is not that menu, it's this menu. One of the tricks I learned, because I've been using these for, well, since my first series, so at least half a year. There's these tight corners. There's only one direction for this one, so it's only this one, and then you can rotate it to simulate like the other side, but that also means it's a little bit limited in that you can't do like a corner like this and then make it go into a full round like that. You have to do that. So it's a little bit limited, but yeah, it's fine. I think it's a very nice set. and I think the modder did an excellent job on it. Now let's see where I want the diagonal transition. Needed to be like that, else the diagonals wouldn't work. And I think this is alright, but there's, because I've done some terraforming with the terraforming tool, I think this isn't touching, right? Oh, okay. So the downside is that it would clip if I make that flat. And I think the pavement, oh, is that really a thing now? Can I, maybe if I disconnect this, maybe that would change it a bit. Maybe, okay, yeah, it changed it a bit, and now if I make these two flat, it should look fine. Yeah. Okay, let's just do the diagonals there. I'm not sure how I'm gonna approach this corner, because there's a lot of derps over there. That shouldn't touch anything, right? Yeah, okay. And let's just make this flat. So the terraforming tool, because of me wanting to be a bit fast with the whole process, I was a bit rough, so I derped some of those levels out a bit. So that's why I'm redoing them. I think that should be the other corner, and I don't know, can't really, okay, it needs to be over here, I think. Yes. And you might be asking, why is he showing us this? Well, I'm building it, so that's why I'm showing it. It might be a bit boring, but I don't know. A lot of this stuff I had to figure out for myself how to do it. And I did see some videos of people doing stuff like this, and at first I was like, that's way too finicky for me. I just want to build a city, and if you feel like that, then I can completely sympathize with that sentiment. And I still think about it pretty much the same. I still think it's not really worth it. If you're looking to just have fun with this game, then you shouldn't be focusing on the stuff I'm focusing on right now. Just focus on building something that makes you feel like you did something epic. Because a sandbox game isn't about making art or anything. It can be, and for me it kinda is about making beautiful stuff, or at least stuff I find interesting. I'm gonna start doing trees now, and in preparation for trees I'll pause it at like the 1st of September, because that causes the trees to be like synchronized in terms of their seasonal aspects. So let me just, yeah, okay, perfect. So it's already been 12 years. We have more than, yeah, we have almost 20,000 inhabitants in the city. And it's finally time to add some trees. I'm not gonna go too crazy with the trees, I think. Though some of these trees are mega sensitive when you place them. So I'm just gonna do single clicks, I guess. Though a bit of a drag might also give a nice result. And these trees look very colorful, but as I add some other colors of trees, that won't be as impactful as it seems right now, because now it seems like a yeah, very noticeable thing. And I think one of the other nice aspects of the system that I used is that it has all these places for trees and decorations and stuff. So for this neighborhood I'll make a bit of a treat kind of decoration. And that's one type of trees, and I'll do some maples maybe. Though maples are a bit scary to put down. Not because of the trees being scary, but because of them being pretty big sometimes. Even if you just do a single click. That looks a bit interesting. But you can keep clicking sometimes. I think that looks reasonable. And some parts I might just do a bit more of the evergreen stuff. I wonder how these go down. Okay, these might be a bit more controllable than the other ones I've used in the past. So I'll just do a bit of that. Although these are maybe a bit more meant for big forests rather than small decorations. Maybe I'll do one of these. Like a bit of a line of trees there. Follow the curve of the road for a bit. Maybe just do a bit of that. I don't know. Fun thing is you can just try out all kinds of ideas with these plants and trees and have a different result every time you put them down. And that can be a good thing if you want to have a very organic looking city or even region. Although maybe it's actually not good for organic looking regions, because there's always a certain underlying structure to organic things. I think, well, I'm not an expert on organic things, I guess. Well, I guess I am an organic thing. Yeah, let's just do some things there. Not sure what I want with this, with all this. I do think I want a bit more greenery that isn't evergreen over there. Maybe add some red stuff here and there. Maybe do a bunch of red stuff over there. Just a very successful family of trees. And yeah, then I'm gonna look for some. It's pretty hard to keep track of where you've been and what you still need to do, especially when you're zoomed in like this. But if you're not zoomed in like this, then it's a bit harder to place things down. Okay, let's go into some ground texture coloring things. Let's make a bit of a sample area here. So there's the brown ryegrass, and of course there's a green ryegrass. Well, of course, I don't know. I think I also had something called straw. There's two types of straw. I guess one of them is just straw and the other is light straw. So these are a bit more aggressive to put down. I think I'll use a bunch of the straw here, and just to give it a bit of a less green look, and to give it a bit of an undergrowth kind of aspect to it. And maybe I should have turned off the grid. I'll just do that right now to give me a better feel of what it really looks like without all those grid lines. I'm just gonna go lightly over it. It's not a big deal, but it does break up the whole greenness of this whole thing, and I do think that's a nice thing to do. So some of the lights drawn now is gonna be even less impactful, but it's still, you can see the slight change in like the brownness, and it smoothens out the color change a bit. Maybe, yeah, because you don't go from the darkness or the dark brown color into straight green. Makes a bit more of a smooth transition. And of course there's a certain limitation to all these fractionally angled roads and the way you can put props and stuff around them, because they have a lot of overhang. For instance, you can see this triangle here, that's all, the whole triangle is just part of this fractionally angled road. So it does have its limitations to do things like this. But it's something to try out, right? I mean, I've been playing this game for, well, I guess I've been playing it since I was a kid, but I reinstalled it like pretty recently, I think about 8 months ago, and I had to relearn most of how you play this game. And still, of course, had some strategies and some tricks in order to make sure I didn't go bankrupt as soon as I opened the game. But yeah, a lot of this MMP work is very new to me. I never did that. The only mod I used to have, well, I had one run where I did install the Colossal add-on mod. I'm not, yeah, I was very unsure whether I installed it correctly. I think I did, but yeah, it was a bit overwhelming, to be honest, because of all the extra information you needed to learn about how growth stages work and stuff like that. Let's just add some of this stuff here, some flowers, and just keep the very neutral flowers for now. And I'm just gonna do this area right now. I might look to find some open moments in the rest of the week and do some off-camera work, but I've been very busy the past weeks, and there's this thing called Factorio. It's a game, and in Factorio there's this multiplayer game mode that's called Spider Battles, and they are hosting a tournament in, I think, 3 weeks time, and I've been asked to participate for a team. So I've been practicing a lot with those guys and learning a lot of new stuff in there. So a lot of the free time that I do have goes into practicing. So I'm doing these videos because I like the game and I want to promote SimCity and a different way of playing SimCity as much as I can. Also, of course, because I like doing these videos. I mean, sometimes you might feel like you're gonna start a chore, but once this game is loaded and I'm building, I just relax and build, and I just try to keep talking so that you don't have to like sit and stare at a awkwardly silent person. I might not do the bright ones. I might do some of the muted blues, just to give it a bit more of a color. And you might think, why are you doing all these colors there, man? And I think, well, whatever, I don't know. I have them installed, so why wouldn't I use them? And I think a bit of these little touches add a lot to a neighborhood like this. And I also have some of these Spiraxis thingies and the daisies. I do some of these as well, maybe. The daisies are a lot more green when you plant them, but they have very bright pink flowers in the summer. So I'll just. The annoying thing is that you don't know how much of it you are planting. I think it's very little right now, but we'll have to see if the whole area turns into a big pink mess. And let's do these. These are also green when you plant them. I'll just do a big area with some of these, because they are very colorful and pretty varied in their color. It's not like they are all one color, the Spiraxis, I believe. I don't know if there's like a less Latin word for the flower name. Let's just do them. And let's do a little bit of an overgrowth on the cliff here. A little bit of one of those areas where there's like plants that just took over the cliff. And I'll add some rocks pretty soon, I think. Maybe if I zoom in I can plant them a bit more thoroughly. And I think I want to... oh, I misclicked for a bit. Oh no, I forgot about the cattail stuff. I might sprinkle those around, but what I wanted to say is I think I want to do some of this a bit, just to add a bit more greenness to the background, so it looks like it's a lot thicker. Okay, now let's do some cattail stuff. I'll do the seasonal ones, I think. Okay, they don't want to go there, it's fine. Cattails normally are more of a aquatic plant, but they look like a pretty wide range of plants, in my opinion, in this. I mean, they just look like a bunch of tall grass. And there's a lot of different plants that look like that, so I don't feel like I want to just use them for the water areas. It's just a tall grassy plant that you can use for the water areas, in my opinion. Yeah, don't need to do those everywhere, but I'll do some over here and make a bit of a overgrown area, maybe something like that. Maybe some on the other side, something like that. I don't know. I'm just doing a bit of random stuff. Okay, I think I'll keep the plants as that. I'll just add some rocks to experiment for a bit with ideas I might have about the rocks. I have some different rocks, so let's see what this looks like. That's just a texture. These aren't just textures. Let's zoom in so we can actually see. So these are pretty nice for shorelines and stuff, because they don't grow too big and they end up looking a bit like pebbles. Let's see if you can then just use this below it or something. This one. No. And then there's boulders, which can be very big. Okay, so rocks small and then boulders, and there's not really something in between. Other rocks I have is this, which are flat rocks. They do tend to glitch a bunch, so I'm not sure if I want to use those too much, though they do work pretty nicely with the cliff texture that I have. So there's the round rocks. These are very small. These are medium sized. If you drag them, they do tend to be. And then there's the big ones. I wonder if... okay. Yeah, I think I'll use maybe some flat rocks, or maybe these. Yeah, I think flat rocks will look the best here. The best. I don't think the best was the best word to use there. Maybe I'm wrong about the flat rocks looking the best. I'm just gonna go nuts until I find something that looks less weird than it looks right now. I think this is alright. And I'll just do a bit of a pointy end over there. Maybe something over there. A bit of a pointy end over there maybe. I think that looks alright. Maybe use some of those small rocks over here. Are these completely glitching? It's like the 3D textures inside out or something. Okay, these are pretty bad. Not in general, but just they're glitching a bunch. And I think I want to just use some plants to hide that. So let me think of a plant that might help with that. Or maybe I can just bulldoze them for now. Yep, that works. And for that cliff I'll use some plants. And I haven't used feather... oh, that's the wrong menu. I haven't used feather grass yet, so I'll do some feather grass over here. And I do like to mix up a bit, or mix in a bit of, just go nuts with it for a while. Probably gonna use it over here as well. The feather grass is a problem in the city, it's just everywhere. Oh, it's not really everywhere. Yeah, so then I think I'll do some cattails just to spice it up a bit. Gives a bit more of a varied color to it. And then to make this undergrowth a lot less gray, I'll use some, maybe some rye, some brown rye. Yeah, that works like a charm. Then some light straw to finish it off. I did click it right, yeah. Alright. This pretty much has been the video. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I lost track of time. I want to thank you all for watching. And I'd like to see you again. Goodbye.